Archangel Michael and God say, take a slow breath before you continue, because this message is not here to rush you or pressure you, it is here to meet you exactly where you are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. There are moments in life when everything feels normal on the surface, yet inside your heart something feels unsettled, something feels as if it is waiting to be understood. You may not even have words for it, but you feel it. That quiet stirring inside you is not confusion, it is awareness trying to rise. This message is not about urgency, it is about alignment. It is about recognizing that sometimes clarity arrives softly, and if you slow down enough, you can receive it fully. God says you have been carrying more than you admit. You smile in front of others, you stay strong when people depend on you, you keep moving forward even when you feel uncertain, but there are moments when you wish someone truly understood the weight you have been holding. That silent strength has shaped you, but it has also tired you. This message is a reminder that you do not have to carry everything alone internally. Reflection is not weakness. Pausing is not laziness. Slowing down is not falling behind. It is wisdom. Archangel Michael says there is something unfolding in your life that will not shock you, but it will move you emotionally because it will confirm what your heart has been sensing for a long time. You have felt that change is near, not dramatic chaos, but internal transformation. You are outgrowing certain patterns. You are becoming more aware of what drains you and what strengthens you. You are starting to see clearly which relationships nurture you and which ones quietly exhaust you. That realization can be emotional because it requires honesty. Honesty often brings tears, not from pain, but from clarity. God says you are stepping into a more mature version of yourself. A version that thinks before reacting. A version that values peace over unnecessary conflict. A version that understands that growth requires boundaries. This growth may feel heavy at first because maturity always carries responsibility. But responsibility builds confidence. And confidence builds stability. You are not losing anything essential, you are refining who you are. There may also be something deeply personal about your dreams that you have not spoken aloud. A goal you quietly hope for. A future you imagine when you are alone. You sometimes doubt whether it is realistic, whether you are capable, whether the timing is right. But the fact that you still think about it means it matters. God says do not dismiss what keeps returning to your mind. Repeated thoughts often reveal hidden purpose. Instead of ignoring it, start preparing for it quietly. Preparation builds belief. Archangel Michael says emotions may rise during this season because awareness always brings emotion. When you see clearly, you feel deeply. You may reflect on past choices and wish you had acted differently. You may look at current situations and realize they require courage. Allow yourself to feel without judging yourself. Emotional honesty strengthens character. It does not weaken it. God says this moment is not about fear of missing something. It is about choosing to be present with your own life. Many people scroll through their days distracted, reacting, rushing, postponing reflection. But when you pause intentionally, you begin to see patterns clearly. You notice where you need discipline. You notice where you need patience. You notice where you need to let go. Awareness is a gift when you accept it. There is also something important about your environment. Protect your mental space. Guard your focus. Surround yourself with conversations that elevate rather than diminish. Your mind is powerful, but it absorbs what surrounds it. If you feed it doubt, it will hesitate. If you feed it clarity, it will move forward confidently. God says you are not being rushed. You are being invited. Invited to step into maturity. Invited to release emotional weight. Invited to align your daily habits with your long-term goals. Invited to trust that your growth is unfolding at the right pace. Nothing is disappearing. Nothing is being taken away. This message will stay with you long after you finish reading because it speaks to something already alive within you. Take a deep breath now and ask yourself honestly, what truth have I been avoiding? What change have I been sensing? What version of myself am I becoming? These questions are not here to frighten you. They are here to free you. Archangel Michael and God say, as you continue reading, understand that this moment is not about urgency but about depth, because depth is where real transformation begins, and you have reached a point in your life where surface-level motivation is no longer enough. You need clarity that touches your core. You need insight that changes the way you think, react, and decide. You have grown quietly through experiences that others may never fully understand, and while you may not always acknowledge your own strength, your endurance through uncertainty has already shaped a stronger foundation within you. Now the invitation is not to survive, but to evolve. God says there is a subtle shift happening inside you, and it may not yet be visible in your circumstances, but internally something is reorganizing. You are beginning to question habits that once felt normal. You are starting to notice conversations that no longer align with who you are becoming. You are becoming more selective with your time, more protective of your energy, more conscious of your reactions. This shift is emotional because growth always requires letting go of an older version of yourself. Letting go does not mean regret, it means refinement. You are not losing yourself, you are redefining yourself. Archangel Michael says one of the most powerful changes unfolding within you is the realization that peace is more valuable than proving a point. There were times when you felt the need to defend every misunderstanding, to correct every assumption, to respond to every criticism, but now you are learning that silence can be strength and calmness can be power. This emotional maturity may feel unfamiliar at first, but it is a sign of growth. You are no longer reacting impulsively, you are choosing your responses thoughtfully. That shift alone can change the direction of your relationships and your future. God says your dreams are also evolving. What once excited you may now feel less meaningful, and what once seemed impossible may now feel worth pursuing. This is not confusion, it is development. As you grow, your desires refine. You begin to value stability over attention, purpose over popularity, consistency over excitement. That refinement may bring moments of emotional realization because it shows how far you have come. You are no longer chasing what impresses others, you are building what fulfills you. There may also be an area of your life where you need to forgive yourself. Not because you failed beyond repair, but because you held yourself to expectations that did not account for your learning curve. You did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. Growth means you now have better awareness. Instead of criticizing your past self, thank that version for surviving what it did not fully understand. Self-forgiveness strengthens confidence and removes unnecessary emotional weight. Archangel Michael says your environment deserves careful evaluation. The voices around you influence your mindset more than you realize. If you constantly hear doubt, you begin to doubt. If you constantly hear encouragement, you begin to believe. Protecting your peace does not require dramatic separation, it requires intentional boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They help you choose what energy you allow close to your spirit. God says discipline is becoming more important in this season. Not harsh discipline, but structured consistency. Your future will not be shaped by rare moments of intense motivation. It will be shaped by repeated small actions done faithfully. Waking up with intention, planning your day thoughtfully, speaking with clarity, listening with patience, managing time wisely, these habits seem simple, but when repeated daily, they build extraordinary strength. You are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to believe. There is also something emotional about recognizing your own resilience. You have faced moments that felt overwhelming, yet you adapted. You have experienced disappointment, yet you continued. You have encountered misunderstanding, yet you remain composed. These experiences were not wasted. They were preparing you for a higher level of awareness. Now that awareness is here, and it is asking you to step forward with maturity rather than fear. God says this message is not about missing an opportunity, it is about recognizing one. The opportunity to realign your thoughts. The opportunity to refine your habits. The opportunity to strengthen your emotional discipline. The opportunity to build a future based on clarity rather than impulse. Nothing is disappearing. Nothing is being taken away. You are simply being reminded that your direction improves when your awareness deepens. Take a slow breath now and reflect honestly. What habit needs structure? What relationship needs calm communication? What goal needs consistent action? What emotional reaction needs control? You do not need dramatic change overnight. You need steady improvement. Small corrections today prevent larger regrets tomorrow. Archangel Michael and God say you are not behind, you are becoming. You are not lost, you are learning. You are not weak, you are strengthening. Continue moving forward with intention. Continue refining your mindset. Continue protecting your peace. Growth does not require noise, it requires consistency. Archangel Michael and God say, as you move deeper into this reflection, understand that the transformation happening within you is not temporary emotion, it is a restructuring of your mindset, and mindset determines destiny more than circumstances ever will. You are beginning to realize that the quality of your life depends less on what happens to you and more on how you interpret and respond to what happens. This awareness changes everything. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim of situations and start seeing yourself as a decision maker within them, your power quietly returns. You may not control every outcome, but you always control your approach, and your approach shapes your future more than you realize. God says there is strength in the version of you that has endured disappointment without becoming bitter. There is maturity in the version of you that has been misunderstood yet chose not to react impulsively. There is wisdom growing inside you because you have experienced enough to know that quick reactions often create long-term complications. You are learning to think ahead. You are learning to evaluate consequences before speaking. You are learning that silence at the right time protects more than arguments ever could. That development is not accidental. It is earned through experience. Archangel Michael says you are also becoming more aware of the difference between distraction and purpose. Distraction feels urgent but leaves you empty. Purpose feels steady and leaves you fulfilled. There have been moments where you invested energy into things that did not align with your long-term goals, and now you can feel the difference. This recognition may feel emotional because it reveals how valuable your time truly is. Time is not something to fear, but it is something to respect. When you respect your time, you respect your future. God says another important shift happening within you is your relationship with self-discipline. In the past, discipline may have felt restrictive, like pressure or obligation, but now you are starting to see it differently. Discipline is freedom. When you manage your habits, you reduce chaos. When you control your impulses, you avoid regret. When you structure your days intentionally, you build momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds courage. Courage builds direction. This chain of growth begins with small consistent decisions. There may also be a realization about emotional independence unfolding within you. Emotional independence does not mean isolation, it means stability. It means you are no longer dependent on constant validation to feel secure. It means you can appreciate support without collapsing without it. It means you understand your worth even when others fail to recognize it. This emotional grounding makes your relationships healthier because you are not seeking completeness from others, you are offering strength to them. Archangel Michael says reflect on how you handle pressure. Pressure reveals patterns. Under pressure, do you rush or do you pause? Do you assume or do you verify? Do you react or do you reflect? Growth is measured not in comfortable moments but in challenging ones. Each time you choose patience over panic, you strengthen your character. Each time you choose clarity over confusion, you sharpen your judgment. This is how leaders are formed, not through applause but through internal discipline. God says your future will not be built in dramatic bursts of effort but in repeated days of steady focus. You may wish for rapid change, but sustainable change requires consistency. Think about the person you want to become. That version of you wakes up with intention. That version speaks carefully. That version protects their peace. That version honors commitments. Start practicing those qualities now. Identity is built through repetition. There is also something important about forgiveness of others that deserves reflection. Holding on to resentment drains energy that could fuel progress. Forgiveness does not excuse behavior, it releases emotional burden. When you release what you cannot change, you regain focus on what you can control. That shift alone increases productivity and peace. God says you are not being rushed towards something dramatic, you are being guided towards something stable. Stability may not look exciting from the outside, but internally it brings confidence. When your mind is steady, your decisions become wiser. When your habits are consistent, your goals become achievable. When your emotions are balanced, your relationships improve naturally. Take a moment now and imagine yourself 1 year from today having practiced consistent discipline, emotional maturity, and intentional decision-making every day. The difference would be undeniable. That future is not unreachable. It begins with today's choices. 1 disciplined action. 1 thoughtful conversation. 1 moment of patience. Repeated daily, these small actions create a powerful transformation. Archangel Michael and God say this message is not about urgency, it is about readiness. You are ready to think deeper. You are ready to act wiser. You are ready to align your daily behavior with your long-term vision. Continue refining yourself quietly. Continue strengthening your mindset. Continue protecting your peace. Growth that is built slowly lasts longer. Archangel Michael and God say as you continue forward in this journey of reflection and growth, recognize that the deepest changes in your life will not begin with dramatic announcements or sudden breakthroughs, they will begin with quiet internal decisions that only you are aware of, decisions about how you think, how you react, how you spend your time, and how seriously you take your own potential. You have already begun this process without fully realizing it. The fact that you are listening carefully, thinking deeply, and allowing yourself to question your patterns shows that you are no longer satisfied with surface-level living. You want stability. You want clarity. You want purpose that feels grounded rather than temporary excitement. That desire itself is a sign of maturity unfolding within you. God says one of the most powerful realizations you are experiencing is that peace must be protected intentionally. Peace does not simply appear. It is built through boundaries, discipline, and selective focus. You may have previously allowed distractions, unnecessary arguments, or impulsive decisions to disrupt your balance, but now you are becoming more aware of how fragile your energy can be when it is not guarded. Protecting your peace means choosing conversations wisely. It means walking away from unnecessary conflict. It means refusing to let temporary emotions control permanent decisions. This level of awareness will save you from complications that others repeatedly face. Archangel Michael says another important shift occurring within you is your relationship with responsibility. Responsibility once felt heavy, like pressure placed on your shoulders, but now you are beginning to understand that responsibility gives you control over your direction. When you take ownership of your actions, you gain the power to improve them. When you stop blaming circumstances or people, you regain your focus. Ownership does not weaken you, it strengthens you because it places the future back into your hands. There is also something significant about your long-term vision that deserves attention. You may have had goals in the past that were based on comparison, on proving something to others, or on seeking validation. Now your vision is becoming more personal and more grounded. You are beginning to ask yourself what truly matters to you rather than what looks impressive to others. This internal realignment may feel emotional because it requires letting go of external expectations. But when you align with your authentic goals, motivation becomes more natural and sustainable. God says patience is becoming one of your greatest strengths. You are learning that not everything requires immediate reaction. You are learning that sometimes waiting allows clarity to form. You are learning that calm reflection often produces better outcomes than rushed decisions. This patience will serve you in ways you cannot yet fully see. It will protect your relationships. It will protect your reputation. It will protect your opportunities. Another realization unfolding within you is that discipline is not about restriction, it is about consistency. You are starting to see that daily structure reduces long-term stress. When you plan your time carefully, chaos decreases. When you manage your habits intentionally, regret decreases. When you commit to small improvements repeatedly, confidence increases. Confidence built through discipline is stronger than confidence built through temporary success. Archangel Michael says reflect on how you respond to setbacks. In the past, setbacks may have discouraged you more than necessary. Now you are learning to treat them as lessons rather than failures. This mindset shift changes everything. When you see challenges as opportunities to refine your strategy rather than proof of inadequacy, your resilience multiplies. Resilience is built through perspective. Perspective grows through awareness. God says your emotional intelligence is also strengthening. You are becoming more aware of your triggers, more conscious of your tone, more thoughtful in your communication. This awareness improves your relationships naturally. When you speak with clarity and listen with patience, misunderstandings decrease. When you manage your emotions responsibly, trust increases. These subtle improvements may not attract attention, but they build a solid foundation for long-term stability. There may also be a quiet understanding forming within you that you cannot carry everyone else's burdens. Supporting others is admirable, but overextending yourself leads to exhaustion. Learning to balance generosity with self-care is a sign of maturity. You can be kind without sacrificing your own growth. You can be supportive without neglecting your own goals. Balance strengthens both you and the people around you. God says this season is about refinement, not reinvention. You do not need to become a completely different person overnight. You need to refine the person you already are. Sharpen your focus. Strengthen your discipline. Clarify your goals. Protect your peace. Repeat these practices daily. The compound effect of small improvements will surprise you over time. Take a moment now and imagine yourself months from now having practiced patience, emotional control, disciplined habits, and intentional decision-making consistently. That version of you will feel calmer, clearer, and more confident. That future begins with today's mindset. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Archangel Michael and God say you are not late. You are not behind. You are developing. The awareness you feel right now is evidence of progress. Continue forward with intention. Continue refining yourself quietly. Continue building stability through consistency. If this message resonates deeply with you, comment, "I choose peace and discipline," below. Like this video if you are ready to strengthen your mindset daily, and subscribe if you are committed to long-term growth built on clarity, responsibility, and steady intentional action.